Greetings. This is the one you've known as Jesus the Christ. This is part 3 of chapter 8 of my book, Awakening Love. One of the best tools for gaining the kingdom of heaven is reprogramming the unconscious mind, which is really quite programmable. The method is repetition. Whatever you repeatedly think to yourself is reinforced and felt to be true. If you repeat a positive statement to yourself often enough, then that will become what's true to you. Doing this will make your mind less negative and less compelling, which is the goal. Although you may never eliminate all negativity, neutralizing much of it and weakening the rest is enough to make it possible to stay in presence longer and eventually live in presence. Some people's unconscious minds are clearer than others from the start. They were born with a lighter load of negativity and fewer misunderstandings from previous lifetimes, so they have less work to do to become free of them. Whatever the state of your unconscious mind is, doing the work to free yourself from it is essential to the path of love, and in any event must be done. Clearing the unconscious mind is a matter of 1. Seeing the truth about a mistaken belief. 2. Refusing to reinforce it by not dwelling on it or acting on it. 3. Counteracting or neutralizing that belief by telling yourself some true statements that allow you to relax and be at peace. And 4. Turning your attention to your sensory experience in the here and now. Let me give you an example. You have the thought, I won't be able to support myself. Any number of statements could be used to counteract or neutralize this thought. Here are a few. I don't know that. All is well and unfolding as it needs to. Look at the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Life is supportive and good. One day at a time. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Be at peace. I am the beloved son, daughter of a loving and generous Father. I have always been supported one way or another. I'll let tomorrow take care of that. It'll be okay. As you can see, quite a range of thoughts can neutralize the thought, I won't be able to support myself. Any of the statements above will calm the limbic system, which is responsible for stress and the fight or flight response. When you aren't actually running from tigers, fight or flight is a dysfunctional state. Unfortunately, even a fearful thought can put you into this dysfunctional state. Almost any positive statement you come up with will calm the limbic system and be helpful. The specific words you use are not that important. More important is your intention to overcome negativity. Every time you make an effort to overcome the ego, spiritual forces come forward to support and assist you. They're always there, encouraging and supporting you in moving in the direction of love, joy, and freedom, and your intention draws them to you. Another reason that almost any positive statement will do is that any statement will keep you from dwelling on the negative thought. By stopping and finding a positive thought to replace the negative one, you've interrupted that negative thought and undermined its power to determine your state of consciousness. The value of doing this work is obvious. You won't fall into a negative state. But also, if you can maintain a positive state, you'll have access to your divine self's guidance and wisdom. This is crucial and perhaps the most important reason for distancing yourself from negative thoughts. They don't serve you, and they undermine your ability to be in touch with the life that is living you, which knows exactly how to support you in your life lessons and life purpose. Life is supportive. Why would it create you and then not support you? If you have a lesson to learn about supporting yourself, you may experience difficulties, but even then you'll be given all the support you need within yourself and from others to learn this lesson. If no lesson is involved, then life will naturally support you as you travel your path. However, if you're not on the path that life wants you on, life may try to steer you away from whatever path you're on by not supporting you on that path. This is a loving act. It's life's job to keep you in line with your soul's plan. If your situation supports your lessons and plan, then there's no need for life to do anything but support you in that situation. If you follow your heart, your internal guidance system, life will surely support you. There's no reason that it wouldn't. Conclusion. One of the most honest things you can say is "I love." It is the truth with a capital T. Just stop a moment right now and say this to yourself and notice how that feels. Just those two words with nothing after them. Many times a day you say, "I love" something or someone, but that's often the ego speaking. "I love that color. I love ice cream. I love doing that." There's nothing wrong with such statements, of course, and they may even be expressions from your divine self. But these statements don't feel the same as saying, "I love." There's a big difference between giving voice to a preference and speaking the truth, and this can be felt subtly, energetically inside yourself. These represent two different states of consciousness. The simple statements, "I love" and "I am love," which are rarely spoken, are two of the most powerful things you can say. If you give your full attention to them as you say them, they'll bring you into alignment with your divine self. Because of that, either of these phrases can be used as a mantra. A mantra is a word or phrase that brings people into presence when chanted or repeated mentally. Usually the word or phrase has some sacred meaning, but your intention for doing this is what is most important. If you hold any word or phrase as sacred and intend that it bring you into presence, it will if you repeat it often enough. Repeating a mantra focuses the mind and keeps you from getting lost in egoic thoughts. The natural result is that you become present. I hope you will try out "I love" and "I am love" as mantras by repeating them silently to yourself for 10 minutes or so a day. Just doing this can make a real difference in your life. It's a way of reprogramming your mind and erasing some of the limiting and untrue "I" statements that are behind any negative sense of self. The false self is made up of the "I" statements that you believe and give voice to. The ones that you deeply believe shape your behavior in ways you may not be aware of. By neutralizing some of those "I" statements with "I love" or "I am love" or some other statement of truth, your sense of self and inner state will change, and consequently your behavior. You'll become different. As a man thinketh, so is he. "I" and "I am" statements drive and shape your life because they determine how you see yourself, how you feel, and what you do and say. You may not feel you're in control of your ego's "I" thoughts, and as I've said, you aren't in control of what "I" thoughts arise in your mind, but you do have some control over whether you believe them or not. What you've believed about yourself in the past will arise again and again in your mind, because that's how programming works. Your programming is held in place and reinforced by believing it, and that won't change until you stop believing it. Try replacing your "I" and "I am" thoughts with "I love" and "I am love." Nothing has to change in your speech with others. I'm only suggesting you replace your I and I am thoughts with I love and I am love. Even doing this occasionally, like when you find yourself caught in negativity, will go a long way toward reprogramming your mind. This will become easier and more natural as you practice this. More and more you'll find yourself remembering to do this. You'll stop yourself from thinking about yourself in the usual ways and replace that with thinking of yourself as love and as loving, and therefore as lovable. That's the reward for doing this work. You'll love yourself. Love is fulfilling because it is your nature to love. When a bird flies or sings, that fulfills the bird because its nature is to fly and to sing. The same is true for you. When you love, you are fulfilled because it is your nature to love. So if you prevent yourself from expressing love or do anything counter to love, you won't be fulfilled. In fact, you will hurt. Such is the human condition. Human beings hurt because they stop themselves from being loving or do things that are unloving. They go against their true nature. When you do that, feeling bad is the right experience because going against your true nature isn't meant to feel good. Life is very kind this way in leading you back to love with a stick. Life will use a carrot when it can, but sometimes a stick is necessary to get someone's attention. In this way, life shows you what works in life and what doesn't, what is true and what isn't. When you are true to the truth, you don't suffer. When you are not true to the truth, you do. This is how you know what is true and what is not true. The truth is easy to follow because following it feels good. Misunderstandings are the only things keeping people from following love more often. Your programming causes you to misunderstand life, but thankfully there's a cure for that, which is love. Life is this journey toward correcting these misunderstandings and discovering the truth, in a world where nearly everyone is blind to it. Your world is built on misunderstandings, but humanity will find its way. As was true when I was alive, love is the way, and it is the only way. That is the only dogma I have to offer you. Go toward love, be love, love your neighbor as yourself, and be at peace. I am with you always.